This is the iQOO 15 smartphone, and it's a great example of why you don't need to spend so much money in order to get yourself a flagship level of device. It has the latest Snapdragon processor there, it's got big RAM, big storage, it's got a glass front and back, and big battery as well, and so much more. But where have they compromised to be able to offer that price point? Let's talk about it. As far as the design goes, I think it looks very minimalist. Some people might say it looks boring, but I think I kind of like this clean look. You got iQOO logo there, it's got Monster inside on this particular color version here. Monster inside means you get really good power in terms of the processing power, the storage, and the RAM. We'll come to that more in a second. And you got this camera array, which looks very basic, I must admit, but it's not like any other on the market because this actually lights up as well. It's something you can change in the settings. Again, we'll talk through that when we get into the settings. And then we get triple camera setup here. This is 50 megapixel triple camera setup and it looks fantastic. Some software issues here and there that could be ironed out, but I think it still comes out looking really good. Flat panel, this is glass as well with this nice matte finish, which adds extra grip onto the device itself. When we look around everywhere else, we've got aluminium frame, you got your power button there and volume rocker as well. Over on the bottom of the device, we have your USB-C port, you got speaker grill there, you have your SIM card tray. This has stereo speaker setup, so the other speaker is just embedded right at the top there. This supports IR Blaster as well, so if anyone still needs to use their phone to control things, which I sometimes do when what's on the public TV or whatever, it's not what I want it to be, then this can be useful. It's got a nice rounded corner as well in terms of the edges, just adds extra comfort in terms of when holding it and which I think is a good finish to the device. It's got a bit of heft to it as well, adding to that premium flagship feel to the device. I think it's just nicely balanced, so it's not too heavy, it's not too lightweight in hand, it just hits the spot where it's meant to be. It comes pre-installed with screen protector and you also get a case as well. So you get this silicone case in the box as well. So that will keep your phone nice and secure. In fact, let's stick that in there so you see what that looks like. There we go. So it doesn't add too much weight, it doesn't add too much bulk to the overall look of the device, and it's got all the cutout that you need to still access things on the go. And then we look at the display here. We have a 2K display, so it's OLED, so 3168 by 1440, gives you 508 ppi, and this is 6.85 inch, and I love the flat screen finishing as well. I'm not a massive fan of curved edges. It supports 144 Hz refresh, which is great for gamers, and it's LTPO, so it can go all the way down to 1 nit, and then it can go all the way back up to 144 Hz when you need to, saving battery life and just making it more efficient. This has 2160 Hz PWM dimming, which is good for your eyes, and peak brightness global, we're talking 2600 nits and 6000 nits peak brightness for the local, and you get plenty of eye protection, and this is Dolby Vision ready as well. Elsewhere, this is IP68 and IP69 water and dust resistant rated, so you can even shoot water jets at it, and it will hold up very well with no issues at all. In terms of performance, it has 100 watt fast charge support and 40 watt wireless. And like I said at the start, you get a big battery in here. You're talking 7,000 milliamp hour battery, which is certified for more than 32.6 hours of YouTube video viewing. So if you're somebody who consumes a lot of media content, you've got nothing to worry about, and including gaming as well. You'll be able to game on this all day long with no issues at all. Elsewhere, this is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, which is the latest and greatest from Snapdragon. You have LPDDR5X Ultra Pro in there, so you can have 12 gigabytes or 16 gigabytes of RAM. There's 1 terabyte, well, up to 1 terabyte of UFS 4.1 storage. This is a 1 terabyte version. And you have a supercomputing chip in there as well. Q3 is called. So this enables performance, AI, energy efficiency, the cache performance, and also a 2K super resolution that we have here. In terms of cooling, we have vapor chamber cooling in there, which is really good, and it's really large to make sure that the whole thing stays nice and cool. This is a large device, so for those who don't want big phones, this might not be for you, but the big screen, big device means big real estate for watching movies, gaming, all that kind of stuff. They haven't even compromised on the vibrator motor, which is usually where I start to notice things with smartphones that are a bit on the cheaper side. We have dual motor in there, so the vibrator motor, and it feels solid, especially when it comes to typing and stuff. You feel it there, and it's really good. More on gaming. For touch sampling, we have 3200 Hz touch sampling rate and 360 Hz 10-finger touch sampling rate. As for the software, this is running on OriginOS 6, so they've moved away from FrontTouch OS, and you get 5 years OS updates guaranteed and 7 years of security updates. And with OriginOS 6 comes a bunch of things as well. So for example, we can go into our settings and set up a wallpaper. You get plenty of wallpaper options available. So you can see there, you can customize it as you wish to do so. You get animation options available as well. Again, you can see all these wallpaper options available. So much customization opportunity there. You've got widgets opportunity and also settings and color and style and so on and so forth. If you go to settings, you can see your own screen style. So I know some people really want to know the layout. So you got option for 4:6, 5:6 also there as well. So you can have it smaller or as big as you want that layout to be. Generally, it's very easy to use. It's very fluid, very smooth. You can drag down to see your quick settings options there. You can also just scroll across to see more apps. You can change the settings for gesture or just the old school style if you wish to do so, to go back and home and stuff. You do get some apps pre-installed on here, which is a bit of a shame, but you can also remove a lot of them if you don't want them pre-installed or have them on the device itself. They've got their own stores as well, so you can download more stuff. I don't know why you need that, so iQOO stores there and blah blah blah. I don't really use all that kind of stuff. So, but you get those options available to you if you want to do that. If we go into settings, we can see options available to us. So we can go down first and have a look at those sound and vibration settings. So if we go down here, you can change your vibration intensity. I know some people like to change that to suit their preference. So the option's there for you. And then scroll all the way down, you've got sound and quality effect. So this is where we can do audio super resolution, super audio's there as well. So just play with some of these options until you are fully comfortable with what you're getting from the sound and vibration settings. We go down here, we can see your RAM and storage settings, so we can see what's available. You can clean up the space, and then you got that RAM boost as well, so you can extend the RAM on there. So you can see 16+16. So things just become a bit smoother as you start to use your device. And then you get ultra game mode, which allows you to do things like super resolution, super frame rate. So super resolution's there. I can have it. You can install more games that are supported. I've got Call of Duty installed, which means it will be supported. Super frame rates there as well, allows for native frame rates or keep them steady whilst reducing power use and heat. So just a nice balance of what you're going to be getting. Ray tracing is available as well. So that's only available on some apps. So Call of Duty is not on here, as you can see, but this will work with Genshin Impact if you have that installed on your device. You have esports mode as well when you're doing your scene mode. You got off-screen autoplay, game lighting effects, 4D game vibrations available as well. So loads of gaming effects and options available there. So again, you can just get the best gaming experience possible whilst you're gaming. Go into display settings and your eye protection. You can have dark mode is there, eye comfort and protection. So you have eye protection, you can turn that on and off. You can schedule it if you prefer. You got comfort mode and anti-fatigue brightness, adaptive color. So much option there as well to keep your eyes nice and safe when you're using your device, especially for prolonged periods of time. If you scroll down, we can see your display size. I have it in different formats depending on what I'm doing. You got screen resolution. By default, it's going to be on HD, but you can switch that up onto the maximum it offers. So it's 3168 by 1440 for that sharper display. And then scroll down to your screen refresh rate. You can have it smart adaptation. You can have it standard, so 60 Hertz. And then you got high resolution at 144 Hertz, which they always say would affect your battery life. But with that big battery that we have in here, you don't have to worry too much about that. You can have it cranked up to the maximum and you're going to be okay. About phone, which is always my favorite. You can see everything to do with your phone. iQOO 15, your storage. This is a 512 gigabytes. I think I said 1 terabyte at the start, but actually I got 512 here, but you can get this up to 1 terabyte, and then storage compressions there, your RAM, battery size, and then you got that extra Supercomputing Chip Q3. So everything doesn't fully rely on the Snapdragon. So when it comes to those media heavy features, you'll be able to use your super chip to power those, and it's just nice and functional. And then more on the performance, we have Geekbench scores as well for those who cares about those numbers. For CPU, you can see that it performs well, especially on the single core, which is very important. And for multi-core as well, for multitasking and stuff, it still does really well as well as you'd expect from the Snapdragon processor that's in there. When it comes to the GPU, Adreno GPU in there, we see our Vulkan score, 28,000 plus. Again, performance is up there. And then when we look at OpenCL score, 24,000 plus, again, does really well in that area. So overall though, everything just seems to offer everything that you need in terms of the performance, that you don't have to worry about anything. It's eye up there. And this will only cost you around £600, between £600 and £700 at the point of this review, which I think is incredible for what you're getting. Before we talk about the camera interface, let's talk about the hardware. So we have a 50 megapixel Sony IMX882 periscope lens there, so 3 times periscope f2.65. We have a main lens, which is a Sony IMX921, which is a 50 megapixel lens as well, and then 50 megapixel ultra wide at f2.05, and on the front is a 32 megapixel selfie camera at f2.2, gives you 90 degrees field of view. Look at the camera interface. So if you use a Vivo device before, you will be used to this straight away. It's very similar in many ways. You got your AI button up there. You got your macro button up there as well. So you can press those to activate different things. Press settings, gives you just a bit more options. So in terms of your aspect ratio, it's there if you want grid lines, shake stuff. So much option there. HDR is there as well. And then if you go to more settings, you can see even more stuff that you can switch on and off to do, depending on what you're doing. You got photo settings, you got video settings there as well. Let's just go back to the user interface. Go all the way to the end. You got snapshot, which you can shoot 1x, 2x, 3x, and 6x. You got landscape and night mode, which is pretty good. It just enhances the photo, so you can shoot across the focal range as well. Got portrait mode, which you can shoot with different effect. So you got none, natural, classic. I have it with none. And then you got different focal length, 50 mils there, 85's there, and then you got 100 mil as well if you want to get even closer. And then you got normal photo mode. You got 0.6, 1x, 2x, 3x, and 10x. And then if you press and hold, you can go even further, all the way to 100x. Obviously, as soon as you leave that 10x, things start to look a bit funny, which might not be usable. Video mode, again, you can shoot across all the focal range, and then up top here is where you can change different resolution you can shoot at. This can shoot at up to 8K at 30 frames per second, which again is incredible for a phone that costs around 600 to 700 pounds. And then you got your document stuff, and which I rarely use. And then you go to more, you got your high resolution mode there, and then you got photo, pro, and so on. If you go to pro mode, you can also shoot here in RAW. So you can see there, and super raw mode is available as well. And then you can change all your manual settings like ISO, shutter speed, white balance, and so on and so forth. If we tap video whilst in pro mode, you can see you got more options again in terms of being able to control things yourself. Tap that 1080p area, you can shoot 8K at up to 30 frames, 4K at up to 60, 1080 is there at up to 240 frames per second. And if you don't want to shoot RAW anymore, you can just tap that, and that comes out of the pro mode, and then that's pretty much it. And then obviously you can flip that back to shoot front-facing camera. The front-facing camera can also shoot at 4K up to 60 frames per second, and this is a sample shooting directly from the camera on the phone right now. So you guys can have an idea of what it sounds like and what it looks like in terms of the front-facing camera. But I think generally, just looking at it in the studio environment, I think it doesn't look too bad at all. Having said all of that in terms of the specs and what this can do, what does it actually translate to in the real world? Well, let's look at some shots taken on the iQOO 15 itself. So you can see here really good shots, but when it comes to the white balance, it tends to take the majority of the color in terms of color balance here to overshadow everything else. It's very bluey in terms of the color, but it retains a lot of detail when you start to look into the photo itself, and this is on the main camera itself. And then we can go across, we can have a look at when you start to zoom in, still retains a lot of detail as well. In terms of even looking in the background here, you can still see that we get really good detail that can still be shared after the fact if you want to do that. And then this is the full telephoto lens. But when you look at this one, you see a lot of chromatic aberration, just artifacting in there as well in terms of that telephoto lens. But if you don't punch in and zoom in from just looking at it on an overview state, I think it looks really good. It doesn't look bad at all. The colors are nice as well. And then when we look at this, we can see the stabilization works really well here, getting this close-up shot. Look at all the detail around the parachute there. It just looks really good, and you can even use that as a wallpaper if you want to, because it just comes out really well. You can see this guy as well, just chilling. Some of the details are there. I think it keeps him in focus a little bit, but when you look at the background in terms of the texture and everything else, this is where you start to notice where he messes up when it comes to that telephoto lens. But I think overall, the camera quality is good as well. You can just shoot away. If you're going to be sharing on social media, this is going to be one to use. It just does the job, and I think I can't really fault it. Besides, when it comes to the telephoto lens, when you look at the detail, you might not retain as much detail as possible. Overall, really good camera. It doesn't stop there as well. When it comes to shooting, your subjects as well, especially with someone like me with a darker skin tone, you can see where it starts to over-digitalize the skin tone. So you can see the skin texture here is a bit on the grainier side because it's working really hard to use all the computational method to bring out the detail in my skin texture, which is a bit of a shame, but if you were to just punch back out, I think generally it looks fine if you're gonna be showing that on social media or sharing it elsewhere. When it comes to that portrait shots as well, I think it does a decent job at keeping everything just in focus, and also just, you know, the separation between the foreground and the background, the shadows are still there as well. I think it does a decent job at doing the portrait shots over there. So like I said, overall, the photography element of the iQOO 15 is on the good side. I think they've done a decent job there whilst keeping that price point really low. So not bad at all. Oh, let's not forget as well, one of the cool things, I'll just take the case off to show you guys that as well, is the fact that you can illuminate the light around the camera array. So this will illuminate for notifications and stuff like that. So in settings, we can turn the atmospheric light effect on or off. So it's off right now. Tap it to come back on. And then you have different effects like pulsing, breathing, heartbeat, and so on. And then you can have the speed to be slow or fast. And then you can change to different colors, as you can see there. The colors are limited to what they give you, so you can't exactly do your color pick option, that kind of vibe. But the color options by default that's available here, I think it's plenty. So you can change all that to reflect your mood. So I think it's kind of cool. Not many phones have that. Maybe Nothing phone have the glyph effect, but this is also pretty cool. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this. So that's pretty much it for the iQOO 15. I think it's a brilliant device for £600 to £700 for a device that has the latest Snapdragon processor in there, big RAM, big storage, big battery that also lasts more than a day in most cases for me, if with my usage, and brilliant display in terms of screen quality. You can game on here, it's got great performance. I think overall they've smashed this out of the water, besides maybe some software glitch here and there, but nothing really to write home about in terms of those negative points. But I think if you're on the market for that price point, then this is definitely one to consider. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you have any questions, do ask away as well. If I've missed anything, I'm happy to reply in the comments. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.